Chapter 46. Jen. All in all, I think Michael made a good impression. Claire and Dina seemed to have a good cop, bad cop routine, but I rescued him from the worst of the latter, swooping in with fresh drinks when I heard Dina ask how much his house was worth. The best part was when they started talking about law. Suddenly, they were all on common, nerdy ground, and I was left sipping a mocktail while Dina talked about her latest crisis at work. Which is why I feel like it's déjà vu now we're at Dan and Louise's New Year party and I'm again listening to lawyers talk shop. This is obviously penance for all the times I've subjected non-teachers to state of education rants. I was very glad not to be on duty tonight, Kyle laughs, but I got called down to the police station last night at 2 a.m. The guy was Polish and didn't speak much English, so I rang my mum and she translated for me. Your mum speaks Polish? I ask. Yes, she grew up there, Kyle explains. She's lived here for 30 years now. Do you ever go and visit? I can't help the question, which forms like a stab in my gut as I think about Jamaica. I haven't been for a few years, he says. When I was a kid, we'd go over every few years and see my grandparents. Mum goes back more often now that we're not at home anymore. She must miss her family. A lump forms in my throat. Well, I experienced my first Nigerian party at Jen's friend's house, Michael says, diverting the conversation. Wow, what was it like? Louise asks. What was the food like? Dan interjects. It was very good, Michael smiles, and Jen has 2 lawyer friends who were there, and they both interrogated me. You obviously have very good taste in friends, Alex jokes to me. Sorry, I think you'll find the catering somewhat more basic here tonight. Louise's phone starts beeping and she swipes across it. The pizza's done. I'll come and help. I follow her out to the kitchen and she gives me a pepperoni pizza to slice up. This looks so good, I say, hoping she doesn't genuinely feel guilty. I was just glad that Grace went down okay, Louise says. She hasn't been sleeping very well recently. That must be tough. I gingerly drop the hot slices onto a plate and try to arrange them more attractively. So, did Michael's proposal take you by surprise? Louise asks with an eager grin. Yes, I decide to be honest. I had no idea. Oh wow, that must have been a shock. Especially as he was throwing up the night before because he'd had a drink which triggered his allergy, I tell her, shaking my head at how mad those few days were. Oh no, Louise frowns in concern. It's citrus, right? I always have to check that no one puts out juice by mistake or something. Was he okay? You know Michael, he was pulling off his elaborate proposal less than 24 hours later. I smile dryly. We were on our way to his parents and he proposed at this castle and got his friend to help him set it all up. I give her the gist of Michael's perfectly executed treasure hunt. I'm warming to the fact that I have such a cool proposal story to share. I bet his parents were over the moon, Louise says. If only. His mum was really sweet, I say carefully, but I think his dad didn't expect it. I think he thinks it's too soon. Dan and I had a lot of conversations like that with our parents, Louise says with immediate understanding. We'd been together for 2 years, but we were only just out of uni. Did they come round? I ask. Yes, and they're great with Grace too, she says, but it can take time. We don't have much time before the big day, though. I explain that we booked a date in April, and she nearly drops the platter. That's soon, she says, her eyebrows shooting up. But then again, long engagements seem a bit pointless to me. How long were you engaged? I ask. About a year, she answers. Like I said, we were quite young. If we were in your position, we wouldn't see the point in waiting that long now. I've had friends at church meet someone, get engaged and married within a year. Did it all work out for them? It sounds like I'm asking if they made it without splitting up. Maybe I am. Yeah, she smiles. My friend Mel is pregnant now. It wasn't a big fancy wedding. They had the church service, then they hired a village hall, and it was really simple. I breathe out, feeling relieved and hopeful. Maybe we weren't as insane as everyone thought. And by everyone, I mainly meant Ezra. That's what I want, I say, taking my platter and following her back to the lounge. The problem is what other people expect. We add the platters to the table with other buffet food, and everyone crowds around to fill up a plate. It's definitely not a loud music and dancing New Year's party, but we play a quiz board game and it feels relaxed, not like I've got to impress anyone. Michael seems to have calmed down away from the school site and David Clark. I've avoided asking him about the asbestos problem because I'm hoping he's been distracted by all these social occasions. A toast, Dan says, raising his wine glass when it draws near to midnight, to Michael and Jen. Congratulations on your engagement. Our glasses chink together and Michael kisses my cheek. My knot of anxiety is unravelled and I finally feel a streak of pure happiness. This is going to be a good year.